has for years famously had a very bad relationship, estranged from his father, Errol. And now the New York Times has just done an investigation. They published this today, where they say they've spoken to several other family members and looked over many documents that have shown multiple allegations against Errol Musk.
Elon Musk's father, Errol Musk, landed at the center of a breaking scandal after charges echoing those leveled against Sean Diddy Combs hit the wire. News that crashed across timelines on X, then ricocheted to major newsrooms. A producer scrambled, Musk himself ducked press calls, and by midday, a South African court statement confirmed Errol faced new allegations tied to inappropriate acts with young family members. The timing, just 36 hours after a U.S. federal judge denied Diddy bail and pressed forward with a sentencing date. Suddenly, the most famous surname in tech wasn't just attached to rockets and meme coins. Now it was knotted to abuse claims, usually reserved for tabloid pariahs.
You know, I scanned it. Did they in any way bring Elon in?
They did bring Elon into it because what the report says is that these family members who have been dealing with Errol have reached out to Elon trying to get him to intercede in some way. And they basically say that he has not, while he has been offered financial support, he has not gotten involved with his father.
On September 23, with Errol's name front page in the New York Times and called out in international news, X, formerly Twitter, went into lockdown mode. Executives at the platform flagged trending hashtags tied to Errol Musk's case and Diddy's trial. Internal memos show advertisers pausing millions of dollars in spend. An overnight report from CNBC detailed how two sponsors yanked promotional campaigns, citing brand safety. Tesla's share price opened 6% down. Elon Musk's own net worth shedding billions in a morning. The market bloodletting came hours after tech forums boiled with the rumor that Musk himself was gunning for Diddy's destruction. The question burning through every group chat, who stood to gain if Diddy's scandals eclipsed those at the heart of Musk's own family?
Out to him, he denied all of these allegations. He said the reports are false and nonsense in the extreme. He also claimed that he was only aware of even one of the abuse allegations, although apparently offered some context for the other ones once informed of them.
But he's not been charged with anything?
He's not been charged.
No, but there
was
are
an investigation.
The investigation
that
involves
went nowhere.
documents as well, other than just allegations.
The receipts are ugly and specific. In court records and family emails, 5 relatives accuse Errol Musk of abuse spanning back to the early 90s. A California investigator who worked the 2003 complaint confirmed multiple cross-border allegations, yet no formal charges ever stuck. One of the most shocking, Errol fathered a child with his former stepdaughter Jana, a detail confirmed in a Sunday Times interview and resurfacing now. Errol dismissed everything as nonsense in the extreme, but the fallout pressed straight into Elon's public life. In a 2017 Rolling Stone interview, a tearful Musk called his father a terrible human being, then added, "Almost every crime you can possibly think of, he has done." Not a throwaway line. He stuck to it in every major profile since. The money, the Mars launches, the cyber trucks, none of it stopped the press from circling back to the wound at the heart of the Musk story. Musk never comments directly now, but his body language, every time Errol's name surfaces, like a billionaire in a blast zone. Industry insiders who've tracked Musk since his early LA days say the current campaign against Diddy is anything but coincidental. One agent who attended a 2019 after-party at a Bel Air mansion claims Musk was publicly humiliated by Diddy, laughter sweeping the crowd when Diddy referenced family skeletons. A manager present at the time tells TMZ that Diddy brought up the stepdaughter baby scandal while Musk stood just a few feet away. The punchline: even billionaires can't buy a new dad. The crowd howled, the source claims, and Musk walked out white as chalk. What got lost in the coverage that night was Musk's parting shot, a vow reportedly overheard by 2 party staffers that Diddy would regret that moment. Those in the room claim it wasn't bluster. They insist Musk meant every syllable. By sunrise, the whispers started. Diddy just made himself a target with the world's most powerful grudge holder.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah.
Hours after Diddy's initial indictment on misconduct-related charges, tech commentators clocked a new urgency in Musk's X posts. Behind the scenes, 3 label veterans insist Musk personally requested lawyers and digital forensics teams to cooperate with investigators tracing Diddy's finances. 2 former FBI consultants say it's no accident that threads linking Diddy's party circuit to trafficking networks went viral on Musk-owned platforms. The stakes couldn't be higher. Diddy faces a possible 2 decades behind bars after a summer trial that saw him convicted on 2 counts of transporting adults for paid encounters, even as he dodged the more severe racketeering and trafficking allegations. For Musk, that's not nearly enough. On June 28, days before the verdict, an account tied to Musk's legal circle tweeted that Diddy's real sentence was coming, and not just from the court.
For him, although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence. But
even as Musk's allies hype his war on industry predators, a counter-narrative is picking up steam. A longtime Hollywood fixer, quoted anonymously in Variety, claims Musk's campaign is all smoke and mirrors, nothing but a distraction operation. You can't tell me the richest man on the planet suddenly cares about justice. This is about getting eyes off his own family mess, the fixer says. Pre-crisis PR managers flagged a pattern. Every time new reporting on Errol Musk surfaces, whether the 2023 investigation or the 2025 court filings, X and Musk's personal feed explode with posts condemning celebrity abusers. One skeptical attorney went on record, "He's keeping the headlines on Diddy, that's the game." All the while, Errol Musk remains tucked away in South Africa, refusing extradition and fanning the rumor that his accusers are after Elon's wallet. The stakes for Musk aren't abstract. Since Errol's story broke in late September, SpaceX insiders describe a clampdown on internal communications and a warning from legal, no external comment, no unsanctioned posts. A senior advertising executive told Ad Age that as of October 1, at least 2 household brands cut ties with both X and Tesla, citing headline risk. Meanwhile, the same week that prosecutors argued Diddy's freak-off events showed premeditation and industry-wide complicity, Musk quietly ramped up his own posts about corporate accountability, posting statistics about prosecution rates and using the Mann Act, yes, the same century-old law used to convict Diddy, as a talking point.
If he gets 14 months, if the defense gets what they want, he'd essentially get out October 3rd because
he's been in for a
13
year, months.
And you get 15% credit for time served. So he'd basically be out after the sentence, and then he'd be on supervised release.
Right.
At the exact moment Diddy's attorneys begged for leniency, citing humane jail conditions and lost business for over 100 employees, Musk's digital war room pressed fresh stories about the so-called untouchables of music and film. The tabloid-friendly term freak-off trended again on X, with posts blasting Diddy's abuse of power, all while critics pointed to Musk's own silence on Errol's accusations. 2 entertainment reporters flagged that more than a dozen blue-tick accounts, all with links to Musk's ventures, drove the hashtags that kept Diddy on the front page. Rumors, accusations, and business consequences keep colliding. A venture capital partner who's worked with both Tesla and major label execs claims off-record that nobody believes Musk is doing this out of moral outrage. He's protecting the Musk brand. If Diddy goes down for a long stretch, nobody is running op-eds about Errol's trials. The same source insists a private security team hired by Musk has been vetting journalists who've previously covered the Musk family fallout, scrubbing any new leaks before they hit mainstream outlets. Meanwhile, as Diddy sits in a Brooklyn jail awaiting his sentencing, the digital spotlight stays fixed on him and off the ugly court filings piling up in Pretoria.
John Diddy Combs is facing a new lawsuit just weeks before he's scheduled to be sentenced on related charges. Former stylist Deontay Nash accuses the disgraced music mogul of sexual abuse and violence.
So is Musk the fearless avenger, hunting down industry predators and forcing a new era of accountability? Or just another player, outfoxing the press, leveraging a public witch hunt to bury his own bloodline scandals? That's the shadow creeping under every headline now, every time another court date or sponsor exodus makes noise. No matter how many rockets Elon Musk launches, the gravity of his family story keeps pulling the narrative straight back to earth. One accusation, one leaked memo, one tabloid bombshell at a time. We watch the so-called billionaire boys club fracture in real time, as Elon Musk's scorched earth feud with Diddy bled past tabloid headlines and sent shockwaves through the velvet-lined boardrooms of Silicon Valley and Hollywood. By the first week of October, there were whispers at the SF headquarters of 3 major tech firms. Private chat logs revealed high-level execs grilling their own crisis teams. Why? Because Musk had broken the unspoken pact, one that for decades kept the darkest secrets of the moneyed class safe behind non-disclosure agreements and off-the-record calls. Suddenly, the club's golden rule, protect the brand, protect the brotherhood, meant nothing. With Musk on the warpath, moguls found themselves looking over their shoulders, PR handlers double-checking loyalty, and even old friends retreating into silence. When one of your own goes public and takes a flamethrower to the code, trust is gone, and the wolves start circling.
Pat, and this guy, he's not joking around. Everything was kind of fun and playful until this moment, and I think that Trump is such a threat because besides the redemption and
the real panic wasn't about Diddy alone. It was about the precedent Musk just set. If even the biggest sharks could get eaten, what does that mean for everyone else circling the same murky waters? Lawyers started preemptively redlining client contracts. One CEO, whose name kept cropping up in Diddy's trial transcripts, abruptly canceled a fundraiser and disappeared from the speaking circuit. We saw the no-comment quotes pile up, but off-camera, a Netflix producer who's been in the room with billionaires during damage control calls said, "They're terrified. He's thrown out the old playbook. Instead of quiet phone calls and payouts, it's now open season." Is this how a new age of accountability begins, with one vengeful billionaire blowing up his own club from the inside? Or is it pure chaos, every man for himself, the bonds of privilege and silence shattered? We can't ignore the drama of Musk's psychological arc either. The headlines focus on Diddy and Errol Musk, but the real story sits somewhere darker, right at the edge of the camera frame. Elon Musk, once painted as the haunted son wounded by a father accused of abuse, forever scarred by secrets, has flipped the narrative. In 2017, he wept to Rolling Stone, describing Errol as evil and guilty of almost every crime you can possibly think of. That was the victim speaking. But now, in 2025, we see something else. A man wielding the raw power to destroy reputations, to point the world's spotlight where he wants. The transformation is chilling. Is Musk fighting monsters or becoming one? Every therapist we spoke to called it classic Jekyll and Hyde. The lines blur. Revenge and justice, pain and power, victim and villain. It's the sort of psychological twist that keeps even his closest allies guessing, whether he's out for the truth or just reliving a personal war on a global stage.
The New York Times has just done an investigation, they published this today, that have shown multiple allegations against Errol Musk, allegations of abuse of minors, either his children or stepchildren.
Across the tabloid landscape, the narrative sharpens into a tale of two fathers, a chilling, almost poetic mirror reflecting the core of the scandal. On one side, Errol Musk, accused in court filings of a pattern of family exploitation, dragging his son's name into the shadows with every new accusation. On the other, Diddy, now infamous not just for his party empire, but for the grim parade of survivors who testified to years of abuse. The symmetry is almost cinematic. Two men worlds apart in industry and origin, now joined at the hip by the same kind of headlines. Yet what turns the knife isn't just the similarity of their alleged crimes, but the way their stories collide at the center of Elon's storm.
But he talks in this complaint read about fearing for his life, not just while he was working for Sean Combs, but afterwards. He tells stories about physical violence, about a time where he actually had to drive 100 miles an hour to try to escape Mr. Combs, and says he didn't call the police because he worried that that would be a sentence.
What's impossible to ignore is the sharp difference in how justice is applied, or more precisely, who gets to steer the spotlight. Musk's crusade against Diddy plays out in full public view, every detail magnified and memed, every damning moment archived forever. Meanwhile, the Musk family skeletons are managed with clinical precision. Legal threats, media strategies, and social platform leverage make Errol's saga seem like a ghost story whispered in the margins. Elon holds up Diddy's sins as proof of moral decay, promising retribution, while Errol's charges flicker briefly before fading behind a wall of silence and non-disclosure. It's the kind of irony that keeps public cynicism alive, the world's richest man wielding both sword and shield, deciding which monsters get dragged into the light and which are left lurking. This double standard doesn't just inflame skeptics, it raises an uncomfortable question for everyone following the case. When Elon Musk chooses his targets, is it really about rooting out evil, or is it about settling scores and preserving the family name? The spectacle of one predator on trial while another escapes scrutiny sends a message more chilling than any courtroom verdict. Justice is a game for those who control the rules. The stage is set not for closure or catharsis, but for endless suspicion, as audiences everywhere wonder if Musk's war on monsters is simply the most dazzling cover-up of all.
Another lawsuit filed against Sean Diddy Combs. This time, a former stylist claims to be Diddy's victim in a case of harassment and physical abuse. We're talking about someone named Deontay Nash, was one of the witnesses, by the way, in the trial against Mr. Combs. He alleges that Combs turned his dream of working in entertainment into a nightmare.
Nothing about Musk's campaign has been left to chance. A senior media consultant with clients in both tech and entertainment tells us the timeline is too neat to be random. Every spike in Diddy coverage seems to land just as another shoe drops in Errol Musk's South African case. The legal filings, the grim testimonies, each drowned out by the viral swirl of Diddy's freak-off parties and violent outbursts. It's a masterclass in narrative control, the consultant says, pointing to backdated X-platform logs that show algorithm tweaks prioritizing Diddy-related tags at key moments. The rest of the media falls in line, chasing the juiciest thread, while the Musk family story gets lost in the noise. Are we watching a billionaire's trauma-fueled crusade, or just getting played by the best media manipulator since Murdoch? Insiders at a major newswire claim they received subtle nudges from Musk's legal team, hinting at sensitive timing around family reporting. The Musk camp, of course, denies any heavy-handedness, but every seasoned editor knows how power works: access, leaks, and quiet threats to withhold exclusives. Meanwhile, we spot the pattern. The Musk moral crusade always crests the moment the family's shadow lengthens. He knows how to keep the audience watching the right hand, while the left hand buries the scandal, one senior publicist tells us. And the public, maybe even us, fall for it every time. With every new Diddy headline, Errol Musk's legal trouble fades a little more into the background. It's not to say Diddy isn't facing real consequences. With sentencing looming and a legal team desperate to reframe the verdict as just a lifestyle choice gone wrong, the pressure is crushing. Prosecutors press for 4 to 5 years behind bars, refusing to buy the argument that Diddy's notorious freak-offs were just consensual swingers parties. Video evidence of violence, witness testimony from Cassie Ventura, and a parade of abuse allegations have nuked Diddy's career. Endorsements, show deals, and charity board seats have evaporated. His own lawyers plead for mercy, citing maggots in food, constant self-harm watch, and no fresh air for a year inside Brooklyn lockup. But mercy is in short supply when the headlines are this radioactive, and when Musk keeps the cameras rolling.
And this is the flight where Diddy said to her,
showed her
she
the video,
testified
showed her
that
the freak-off video.
he showed her a video of a freak-off that she participated in and said, if you don't participate in another freak-off when we get to New York, I'm gonna put this video out. I'm gonna send it to your mother.
And that's coercion.
She testified to that.
If the jury
they believed her,
yeah.
That's coercion, and they would have Cassie.
This is the season of public downfalls, and every mogul is one leak video or court filing away from disaster. Musk's crusade has sent a message. Even the richest, most connected men can't buy the silence they once enjoyed. Some insiders claim it's justice overdue. Others say it's just a billionaire's ego trip with collateral damage. We hear that alliances are already breaking down. Former club regulars who once partied at Diddy's mansions now scramble to scrub evidence, quietly distancing themselves from a man whose trial exposed a labyrinth of secret payments, threats, and old-fashioned corruption. For years, the rich and powerful kept each other's secrets. Now they watch each other fall. But behind all the courtroom drama and media maneuvers, a deeper question simmers. If Elon Musk can decide who gets exposed and who gets protected, if the world's biggest platform can be turned into a spotlight or a smokescreen at his whim, then what happens to the rest of us? Are we just extras in his reality show? Or are we witnesses to the start of a reckoning that could sweep up everyone, from Hollywood's untouchables to Wall Street's kings? One thing's clear, in this new age, no one is safe. Not the rappers, not the tech moguls, not even the family behind the curtain.
To not be involved with a famous singer, to not come out, here's the price. And that they're just selling to the individuals that are in those, this is what I heard. They're selling those videos. So if you're Tommy X, and Tommy X is a big, big movie star, and he was at some of the Diddy parties, he was in one of those bedrooms with 3 other men, and he's happily married to a woman, and blah. Tommy doesn't want that video to come out.
So as Diddy awaits his fate and the billionaire brotherhood counts its casualties, we have to wonder, is Elon Musk's campaign the beginning of real justice in the age of the influencer, or just a new chapter in the world's most toxic power game? Who will be the next target when the richest man alive decides to settle a score? Drop your wildest theories below, because in a world where fortunes rise and fall at the speed of a trending hashtag, you never know whose secrets are next in line. Until then, stay sharp, stay skeptical, and remember, every spotlight casts a shadow. Thanks for watching, and don't look away too long. You might miss the next empire collapsing.